Okay, welcome everyone. Wow. All right, what an absolute delight to see all of you here today. We have a lot to go through, so we're going to try to get through these 36 beautiful Zelda memories as quickly as possible. But before we explain how the panel works and, well, get into the moments, we would like to introduce ourselves. So, we will let you know who we are, what we do, our first Zelda game or experience, and if you were stranded on a deserted island, which Zelda item would you bring? So, I am Michael Koczwara, right there. You have probably seen my name on some gaming websites. I also run Mario Party Legacy, and I am currently a content editor at DigiPen, which is a video game school. Very cool. Let's see, Link's Awakening was my first Zelda game, and for my item on a deserted island, I would pick the Deku Princess because I'm scared of being lonely, you know. Some might think of survival, but then you have someone to talk to. She's actually an item, you know? You scoop her up in the bottle, it's a whole thing.
What's up, everybody? I'm Harmon Jr. You might know me from Kinda Funny, woo! Yeah, I've also been on Nintendo voice chat at IGN, talking about Zelda, of course. Woo! I also currently work at Stride PR, and I do video game PR. Boo! Shame on y'all, that's my job. Can't believe that.
What's your Zelda item that you would bring to a deserted island?
So, y'all all sleeping on an empty bottle. I can get fresh water, I can capture fairies, deflect magic. I mean, I'm good. I'm set for life.
You can get the Deku Princess too. That's how you scoop her up.
But you couldn't have the Deku Princess without the empty bottle.
True.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
There you go.
My name is Rebecca Stone. I go by Forrest Minish online. I do a lot of things about video games and Zelda especially. I write for Twinfinite.net. I am a podcaster for the Nintendo Shack podcast. I stream. You can find me at Forrest Minish on pretty much everywhere. My first Zelda game was A Link to the Past. The best Zelda game. Anyone else love A Link to the Past? And that's funny that both of yours included bottles for your first item, because I was going to say a fairy in a bottle, because then I could use the fairy if I get hurt to heal myself, and use the bottle to, I don't know, that seems like that's useful to have on a deserted island.
There is no fairy in a bottle or Deku Princess in a bottle without the bottle.
That's true. That's true.
There you go.
I think you won that one. Yeah. Okay, before we jump into the memories and the moments, I just want to issue a massive spoiler warning for the entire Zelda series.
You've been warned.
That's the 3D games, the 2D games, the spin-offs, you know, the crossbow training, the Tingle games, the whole thing. Yeah.
I have to know, who knows who Barkle is? Anyone? Tingle's dog? Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, so 36 memories spread across myself, Odell, Rebecca, and eventually the audience. So we'll take turns going over just, you know, things that we love about the series, moments that make us cry or, I don't know, laugh or what have you. We'll go through all of those and then we'll hand it off to you guys. And we'll explain a little bit more about that when that happens.
Yes, we'll be picking you from the audience to help fill the last moments. And I'm gonna give you a spoiler. I did not pick Zelda receiving the hardest backhand in history. So somebody better pick that.
So start thinking now.
Yeah, and sorry if we steal your memory or whatever, but you know, we already got them ready. Okay, let's get started. I will go first with my first memory, the title screen from Ocarina of Time. Wow. Yes, just hearing the music, I get goosebumps. It's so elegant and beautiful, and especially back then when you're seeing Link in 3D for the first time. You would think it might be this huge epic thing, But no, it's just him on Epona going through Hyrule Field. It's beautiful, and I sometimes cry when I see it. Yeah. Do you guys have any memories of Ocarina of Time?
Oh yeah, when I first got it, I don't know, I was like 6. And then like I saw like a Deku spider and was like, hell no, I can't do this. But I came back at like 12 and was like, I got this. Big boy Odell time.
With the title screen especially, it was the first time that we were seeing Link in 3D. So just that, the music and leading into the title screen, it just was a powerful moment because it was that first time we were seeing it like that ever.
Absolutely. Odell.
Yeah, so my first moment is, wait for it.
Oh.
From Twilight Princess, when you get another claw shot, yes. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Twilight Princess, one of the better Zelda games. You disagree? Get out the exit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. Thank you, sir, for being brave. But yes, I remember you get to the land in the sky and you're like, oh, cool, these used to be Hylians or something. I don't know, they're geese now, that's cool. And you see the dragon and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna fight a dragon. And the whole time you're like, what's the item? I already have the claw shot. I keep seeing claw shot pads. This stuff's making sense, and the game's like, da-da-da-da-da, another claw shot. Best moment ever. And then you figure out you're Spider-Man, and I'm like, best Zelda game ever. That's all you need.
All right, Rebecca.
The first moment I want to talk about is my first moment ever associated with The Legend of Zelda, and it is when you are leaving your home to go sneak into the castle for the first time. Raise your hand if this was your first ever Zelda moment. It was mine, and so this was the game I started with, and I love the Zelda games that really throw you into it. They don't have really long cutscenes or really long tutorials in the beginning, and this felt like an adventure. Your uncle tells you, stay home, don't leave, and then you get all of these telepathic messages from Zelda saying, I'm in the castle, come save me. And so you leave your house, and it's raining. It really sets the tone of it, and I felt so smart when I was a kid, like finding that whole, it leads you to it pretty much, but I felt so smart like I had found it, and it's just an awesome start to the best adventure ever.
Yeah. The rain is iconic.
It's so iconic. The music, it's awesome.
All right. My next memory is learning the song of the hero in Skyward Sword. Okay, yeah. So Skyward Sword, it's a Zelda game. It exists. It's got a lot of good story, characters, but a lot of the. In fact, actually, one of the worst parts of the game is just before this sequence. You're like finding tadpoles, you're doing some volcano nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. But then you go to learn this song, and the dragons start flying, and you're starting to hear the melody. And it turns out that it is the main theme to the entire series, which I believe this is the first time it's ever actually used as an element in the game, not just background music. What a cool thing. That was another goosebump moment for me. Yeah, Skyward Sword, not the worst.
All right, before you hit to go to my next slide, I gotta give some people, a little backstory on this. I can honestly tell you, The Legend of Zelda has helped me in the club so much. It has elevated my club game. If anyone's here is afraid to go to clubs, after parties, at PAX and all that stuff because you don't know what to do, we got you. Hit it. Boom! Yeah! I want all of you tonight to hit that Majora's Mask on the dance floor. So Majora's Mask, as we know, is a crazy, spooky game. Everyone talks about the dark elements, all the sad, sobby moments, the death, the grief, and it's great. But this moment, I'll never forget being like, all right, what's this mask do? And then being like, I don't know what the hell this is. And then you go to the twins, you complete it, and it's like, okay, all right, I'm sold. This is what sold me on Majora's Mask. I kid you not. I will never forget this moment. I promise y'all will be crying later with my stuff, but this, come on. I mean, look at that. Too good.
That is amazing. Rebecca.
I promise I won't talk about A Link to the Past for every single moment I have, but the next one that I have is when you are sent to the Dark World for the very first time. I don't know about anybody else, but when I was a kid and I didn't really understand exactly how long games were or how, I guess, plot twists work or anything, I thought, okay, I have the Master Sword, I'm gonna go fight Aghanim, this is the end of the game, I did 3 whole dungeons, and you think you beat him, but he sends you to the Dark World, which you had gotten a little bit of a glimpse of before when he got to turn into a pink bunny. You were like, what the heck is this? And then it kind of went away for a whole dungeon. So I really loved seeing, oh my gosh, not only is the game not over, but now there's a whole pretty much second world to explore, and it was pretty epic.
All right, my next memory is entering the Southern Face Shrine in Link's Awakening. So before you enter this this area, about halfway through the game, you're just hanging out on this island, talking to ghosts, singing with fish, doing these random things. It's a fun game. Then you enter this place and you read the tablet. I'm going to read it now. It says, "To the finder, the Isle of Koholint is but an illusion. Human monster sea sky, a scene on the lid of a sleeper's eye. Awake the dreamer, and Koholint will vanish much like a bubble on a needle. Castaway, you should know the truth." And that just completely revolutionized this game. From here on out, you are constantly second-guessing everything of the people, the places. Is this real? Is this not? And it really makes the ending very effective. I think this is what makes Link's Awakening stand out, this moment right here. Odell.
All right, so for my next one, like I told you, when I first played Ocarina of Time, I was very young. And it was a learning experience for me with adventure games in total. But one of the things I loved is when, wait, has my slide started? Oh, crap. Oh, wait, no, that's yours. Oh.
You read it. I don't want to spoil
I'm
it.
ready. No, you can spoil it. You can spoil it. So, when Narubu, you learned that she's the spirit sage, that was mind-blowing for me for 2 reasons. One, you knew what every sage was going to be in the game before that. But hers was a total mystery for me. But the thing that made this really special was when I became an adult, and you read it, she tells you when you're a kid, she's like, hey, sneak in here, get something, I'll give you something really good. But that moment never happened. She gets kidnapped and brainwashed. But when you play this game as an adult, as you read the text there, she goes, I really wish I knew you was become a handsome man. I really would have kept that promise. And I was like, oh, what? Like, I mean, I think she's a nice looking lady, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? Link does become a man in this game. Take that how you will. But no, really, like, I really thought that was a nice version because you had met no one associated with, the Gerudos or even the Spirit Temple, so kudos for, that, and I enjoyed that. And, for those who are old enough to know what was going on, yeah, that was a nice little nod.
When probably like most people, when Ocarina of Time came out, it was not the days of you could just search anything on the internet. So when I was playing it for the first time and I got to Lon Lon Ranch and wanted to get a horse, you see Epona when you are a child and you're like, okay, I want this horse someday. When you're an adult, I don't know about you, but the first thing I did was go to Lon Lon Ranch because I want to ride around Hyrule on that horse. So, you win the race fairly, or however you do it with the carrots, and then you're trapped in Lon Lon Ranch and you're not allowed to leave, and you think, oh my gosh, how do I leave with my horse? And you couldn't look it up or anything back then, and it just felt so awesome escaping with your horse. Probably illegal, but I think when Mido gets his, Talon gets his ranch back, he's gonna wonder where that horse is. But it just felt so cool to jump out of that. Who knew that a horse could jump that high? And you get to take off and ride Epona everywhere you want now. So I really loved that moment in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. One time for Epona.
Yeah, I remember with my siblings, we were stuck here for days. We did not know what to do. The game does not
They
indicate.
don't give you any hints on how to escape. You could think that you're stuck there forever. Did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
Did I pick the wrong horse?
Okay, my next memory is from a more recent Zelda, which sorry if you haven't played it, but you've had some time. It is from Age of Calamity, okay? Okay, yeah, in Breath of the Wild, you get to learn about all these different relationships with Link and the champions and all sorts of people. And then there are the champions and their descendants, right? You hear about them, but you don't really see those relationships. Then you got Age of Calamity, where you really get to see some of that fleshed out. Even though it's like timey-wimey nonsense, you still get a glimpse of how that would work. And specifically, Mipha and Sidon, oh man, it's just really sad watching their scenes, especially Sidon, who knows the fate of Mipha and does things like he has to turn his head, he can't even look her in the eyes. Or when she says, hey, we'll see each other again, and he says something like, oh, you'll always be in my heart, and like, it just makes you cry. Yeah, this is a great moment. Sorry for all the sad moments. Yeah, Odell.
You know, at least I got them laughing before they're crying. You know, but this is gonna be my last funny one. It's not funny, it's just really good. I just know y'all gonna laugh when y'all see it. Go ahead and hit it. So, Oracle of Seasons, one of the best Zelda games ever.
Woo.
This is the only item you get the Rock's Cape. What does the Rock's Cape do? Turns Link into Superman. Watch him hit it. Boom! Wait, you can't hit it again. Bah! So, yes, if you're thinking, oh man, Link can jump, Link can fly in this game. So, I mean, everyone's all about, look at that glider. What about Rock's Cape? I mean, I'm just saying. So if you never played Oracle Season or Ages, you get this item, you solve puzzles with it, you can fight bosses with it, you can dodge with it, you can do a lot of things with it. And unless there's some Zelda super fan in here to tell me that this item is in another game, I've never seen it, so.
There's the rock feather, I think it's in A Link's Awakening, which just lets you jump, but the cape lets you glide and fly.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, and if you get the Pegasus boots and then you run and use the Rock's capes, he can fly for like an extended time, which is like 5 seconds. Just so you know.
Rebecca.
So another Ocarina of Time memory that I have is another one where I thought that maybe something that I was done the game when you beat Ganon you beat Ganondorf and you think I just beat the game, and then all of a sudden he kind of starts to not come back to life, but he uses the last bit of his energy to start bringing down his whole castle. And when I played that for the first time, my heart just dropped. You hear Zelda gasp, and you have to start escaping his castle before it crushes everybody. And I just thought that was such a cool part. You know, you go down all these, different tunnels and pathways. You have to fight along the way, but then it has this timer that is like ticking against you, and it just adds all this pressure to get out of there as fast as possible. And then you have to escort Zelda, who walks so slow, and you try to run ahead of her. It's kind of an emergency. Can't you run a little faster? But then you get to the bottom, and then you have another fight waiting for you. Yes, the re-deads, yes.
Okay. Okay. Skyward Sword? The Wind Waker? Excellent. Yeah, there's so much to love about the Wind Waker, and even before discovering Hyrule under the ocean, the waves, everything's beautiful. But when I was a kid and I was playing this and thinking about how I just finished Ocarina of Time, wondering, hey, where's the Temple of Time? Where's the village? The whole thing. You finally get to this moment and you get a glimpse of, I guess, an actual Hyrule. It's such an awesome moment. You start to see the tops of the castle, the Triforce, the whole thing as you come down. It's a beautiful moment. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, real quick question. Raise your hand if you think Twilight Princess is one of the best Zelda games. All right, the best. Excuse me, sorry, if you think it's the best. All right, the real ones have revealed themselves. Next slide, please. So one of the things that makes Twilight Princess one of the best games ever is, you know Ganon's a pig, you know he's a beast. Name any other Zelda game where he was more beastly than this. You can't. It hasn't happened yet. I saw that. Name it.
I said Smash Bros. Brawl. It's from me.
Okay. All right. All right, but no, I truly love this moment because he turns into a beast, and the fact that you go into your beast form, Minna's there to help you with the giant glowy hand thing, ponytail thing she does. I love it. And I love just throwing him, jumping on his car, gnawing at it, slashing at it. And just that whole battle sequence is just one of my favorite boss battle encounters in the entire series. You can't tell me no different. All right, somebody raise their hand. Name one better than this. Somebody. Who's bold enough to challenge it? This guy, yes, sir.
The moment immediately after where you're on the horse fighting him on his horse.
Yeah, that's a good
All right, you raise your hand at the same time. Go.
After that, the 1v1 duel to the death.
So what we're hearing is it's just all Twilight Princess. Good. Thank you. Okay, one more, last one. You, sir.
The joust with King Bolden on Elden Bridge.
No. I hear a lot of oohs. I'm gonna need y'all to take that down a notch. That's all right, but good pick, sir. Thank you.
There are a lot of bizarre moments in Majora's Mask. I think we could probably fill a whole panel of just bizarre things in that game in general. So I only had to pick one. So I picked the alien invasion in Romani's Ranch because I think that's pretty far up there. I think this is one of the most bizarre moments in just any Zelda game ever. You know, you go to this ranch on the first night, they're abducting the cows of all things. So you have to ride around and try to kill all of these. Are they aliens, ghosts? I don't know what they are before they abduct all the cows. I just remember thinking, what is this? Why is this happening? Does this have any connection to the Skull Kid, Majora? What is happening? And then if you don't successfully rescue all of the cows and fend off the aliens on that first night, they actually abduct Romani, the little girl. There's the two sisters. They abduct the little girl, and then they return her on the second night, and she has completely lost her memory, so they returned her. Super weird. Whatever they did to her, I don't know what they were on when they made this game or this part of the game. It's just bizarre and definitely memorable. This moment has stuck with me for a long time because it was so weird. Why did they want the cows?
Yeah, I remember when she returned, she's like shaking. She's got this weird facial animation.
She doesn't talk.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah, a kid's game.
And then the other weird part is they just call these creatures them or they're coming. It's like you're supposed to know what that means.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm done talking about this. Okay, let's keep the Twilight Princess train going. This is probably not what you expect, but this moment between Yetta and Yeto, it's a heartwarming one. Wait, the hearts, and then it doesn't show it here, but the piece of heart flies out. It's just, it's just one of those nice moments where the characters actually mean quite a bit. They're not just side characters to get you from place to place. They have their own stories, their own, whatever. They got the whole thing going on. It's cool that you're actually fighting her. That's the boss battle. It's a cool concept. Twilight Princess had a lot of these, so good job, Twilight Princess.
It also has one of the best pieces of music when you fight that boss.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
All right, so I'm gonna ask a real quick question. Honestly, you can answer it. You don't have to lie. How many people knew Sheik was Zelda before it was revealed? How many people knew Sheik was Zelda before it was revealed?
Spoiler.
Oh, I mean, okay. Not a lot of people. I knew. I thought Sheik was a boy. Sheik was a girl. Apparently, he was a boy. 12-year-old me knew it was up. So, no, was not surprised. But how many people knew that Tetra was Zelda? Because that was amazing. I never saw it coming. The whole kidnapping people with the long ears and stuff. And I gotta admit, she went from like badass pirate to like, I'm no longer in the game. I hated that part. But the reveal was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, that was one of those moments, it's GameCube. This is 2003, 2005. I'm in my room. I got like my little gamer chair from Walmart that was like a $12 chair for like football games. And like this moment happened and I was like, what? So good, so good.
I think the fact that she didn't even know that she was Zelda either kind of added to that amazement of it.
Yes, and I liked how you pointed out how she went from, super tan to like pale white in 1.3 seconds.
She was out in the sun a lot, the whole pirate thing,
Who's a fan of the Minish Cap? We need more Minish Cap fans. Thank you. So I had to include something for the Minish Cap. It's where I get my username Forest Minish. And the first time that you ever go to the sky in a Legend of Zelda game is in the Minish Cap when you go up to the cloud tops. This blew my mind when I played it for the first time. You go up this tornado, you're like, what the heck is happening? And then you're actually literally in the clouds. And there's a whole really long, difficult, annoying section before you actually get to the dungeon, which is the cool part of the cloud tops. They put you on this whole Kinstone fetch quest beforehand, but we actually use, which is kind of similar to the Rock's Cape, but I think it's a little bit different, where you can jump across the clouds and jump up them, and then you keep going up the layers, and I felt quite literally on top of the world. But
And can we
Very nice, very nice.
can we take a moment to appreciate his name's Eslo, right?
his name is Eslo, yes.
The sass, the
I love Eslo.
great companion. Play the Minish Cap if you have.
Yes.
Okay, my next memory is it's one of those where you're playing a game and it's like 11 p.m. and you should probably wrap it up, but then it's suddenly 4 a.m. and you totally messed up your next day. For me, that was when I was exploring Hyrule Castle in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much to say just because it's really, you get to pick your own path, you get to do whatever, so it's more of a personal journey to Ganon here. I don't know, I got killed like 30 times. I read Zelda's diary, which, I don't know, is that okay? Maybe, I don't know, but I did it. Great memory. Breath of the Wild's amazing. Yeah.
All right, so I grew up in that era of, Google didn't exist. So, you would have the rumors and talks about everything, and there was no way to prove it. But one of the things I used to always do was go on Zelda forums and discuss the timeline about which game was where the split was. And one of my biggest favorite moments when Hyrule Historia came out and it revealed to us that there are, in fact, 3 different timelines. Yes, and I know there are some people who may not agree with this, but I called this. I told someone there has to be a timeline where Link died, and no one believed me, so it was so validating to get this. But yeah, I promise y'all, I didn't think there was 3. I just thought there was one where he didn't succeed and the one where he did, but that one splits off into 2. So seeing that all just pan out. So do we have any forum users in here? Let's be real. Anybody like to go on forums? All right, I do. I don't need y'all support, but I will go on forums and Reddit and discuss this all the time. So when this came out, this was huge for me, connecting all the games. To this day, I still argue with people where Breath of the Wild is on this. I'm not gonna say it because y'all gonna make me angry if you disagree. That's what forums are for. They save lives. But yeah, that is one of the best moments for me.
Who here is a believer in the Zelda timeline?
I'll accept it.
The timeline as it is.
Exactly. I argue with people all the time. They're like, no, Nintendo knows what's up. They made the game. It's right there. There is nothing to debate.
People will debate it.
Okay, Rebecca.
So the next moment I want to talk about is in Skyward Sword during the Silent Realms, which were by far the scariest part in the game. Anything that was scary in Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask do not even come close to the Silent Realms. I didn't know if it was just because I was like a teenager, I was a little bit younger when I was playing it for the first time on the Wii, that I was just terrified every time you step off of the path and you don't have enough of the what were they called? The little, whatever seeds that you needed to collect. And then when they awoken like that, and then it comes with the scary music and they start chasing you, it terrified me. It gave me actual nightmares. So I thought when the HD remaster came out that maybe I would have an easier time. I wouldn't get scared as much. No, as an adult, I got scared just as much doing these Silent Realms. It's terrifying. You step into the water and they wake up, and it's just, the music definitely did not help with that. It's terrifying.
They're really pretty too. Look at that.
It's pretty until they start chasing you.
Yeah. Okay, we are about to give respect to a game that is severely disrespected consistently. And this is Spirit Tracks. All right. This whole game, you think about Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, Zelda and Link, great relationship, very developed. How about Spirit Tracks, who did it first, okay? Zelda's with you constantly. She is your actual companion. She's funny. She helps all the time. Look at this. You do it together. This whole sequence, the duet, the arrows, and the, I guess, stabbing together. It's all done together. It's a beautiful moment. And yeah, I guess sorry if you haven't played Spirit Tracks. This is the final boss. But now you have reason to play. Play Spirit Tracks. Yeah.
All right, so one of the things I love about the Legend of Zelda series is actually its somber moments. And even though Skyward Sword is not one of my personal favorite games in the series, it has one of the best endings in the series to me. And that's when Fi says her farewell to Link, and they go through that entire exchange.
You have some Skyward Sword fans.
And the thing is, Fi starts off, very robotic, like, hello, Link, we must accomplish mission. And, she comes more human as the game goes on. And then the last segment where she's like, Link, so many people have told you this so many times over your journey, so I want to say it to you. And she's like, thank you. Because of you, I got to experience what I think is happiness, because she truly doesn't know what these emotions are. And for her to, be vulnerable to a creature that doesn't even know what vulnerability is just amazing. And just her whole conversation, just, spilling her guts, thanking you, treasuring the time, and knowing that she's gonna go into the Master Sword, essentially, live forever. And then when her final words is basically like, may we meet in another lifetime. And then when you hear her in Breath of the Wild, oh my God, like, it just hit me where I was like, Fi is still there. She's been there through every journey, watching over every reincarnation of Link this entire time. And that's just across 3 timelines. And I just think that's just really impactful. So yeah, Skyward Sword, has its gripes, but that story is A++.
Do you think we'll see her in Breath of the Wild too?
We better, damn it.
A Link Between Worlds was really a treat because it did everything that A Link to the Past did, but it gave us a really awesome story on top of that I think a lot of Zelda games don't have. And this is a huge spoiler if you haven't played A Link Between the Worlds. It's so good though. The very end of the game, when you defeat the final boss, you defeat Ganon, and you're getting the Triforce with Zelda. Link and Zelda get the Triforce, spoiler, and they get to have a wish. They get to do anything they want because the Triforce can do anything. And earlier in the game, you learn that the whole problem of this plot was that Hilda, who is Zelda's counterpart, and Ravio, spoiler alert, who is Link's counterpart, they have their own kingdom of Lorule, and their Triforce was destroyed, and it was causing all sorts of problems for her kingdom. Hilda just really wanted to, serve her people and take care of her kingdom, and she wanted to steal the Triforce. Didn't work out because Link got involved, but they decide to, be really good people and use their Triforce to give Lorule their Triforce back. And that moment is just so touching. It is one of the most powerful story elements in, I think, any Zelda game. I just love that whole cutscene at the end, and it's awesome. Yeah, thank you, Link Between Worlds.
So since we talked about Sheik being Zelda and Tetra and Zelda, what about what's his name?
Hilda and Ravio.
Yeah. Did anyone see that coming?
He was a bunny, just like in A Link to the Past. That's how I saw it coming.
They're throwing shade at me because I had no idea.
Okay, this is going to be my last memory, and it is from Majora's Mask, Pamela and her father. I don't know why I ended on a sad one, but this is such a touching moment. The music box scientist, I don't know. He lives here, he got cursed, I think, and starts to turn into those weird zombie mummy things. And this daughter, who you would think is just a little child, doesn't know what to do, she tries to, I guess, comfort, keep him safe. And just all these interactions are so touching, and it's kind of Majora's Mask's thing, to do things like this. I know there are other moments in Majora's Mask too, but this one in particular, like Link looking from afar, it's so good. Yeah, okay, Majora's Mask, great.
Woo.
All right, so for my final moment, it's coming from Wind Waker. Ooh. I see you. But, so I really enjoy Ganondorf's final moments in the Wind Waker. One, because this is the only time we see Ganondorf as empathetic. I feel like no other Zelda paints him in this light. He has a monologue before, oof, so good. But the whole monologue before this moment, before the fight even starts, he talks about the wind. You know, wind analogies in this game is great. And he goes, where he grew up, it was harsh. You know, during the day, it's blazing, the wind is blowing, it scratches your throat, it burns your throat, it kills things. At night, it's freezing cold. It brings death. You know, people die when it's freezing. The wind takes their souls away and spirits. And he goes, but in Hyrule, every time the wind blew, it was pleasant. And he coveted that wind because it brought life, joy, happiness, the exact opposite of what the wind did when it blew through the fields of Gerudo. And you know, his ultimate wish in this game, if you think about it, he didn't even want to kill Link or Zelda. He just wanted the Triforce to bring Hyrule back. You know, his memories of a land forgotten. And then of course, you know, we have to stop him for reasons. But after that monologue, and you know, Toon Link delivers like just the most brutal kill in the Zelda series. Ganon sits there, he chuckles, wait, before that, he actually did just backhand Zelda. I did not put that in the gift because, man, that is nasty. But, you know, you drive the sword through his head, and after the monologue, he just chuckles, and the only thing he has to say is, the wind, it's blowing. Which, you know, is just powerful because one, is taking his life away, and two, is bringing new hope to the land for Link and Zelda. So it's just from A to Z, just a perfect moment and a perfect end.
Intense. Yeah.
Although I will say he was like kidnapping little girls and stuff. So
I mean, bro, he been through some stuff. Oh, okay, but the gods flooded the world. But we just, you know, I'm just saying. They was like, help us, and they're like, all right, to fix this, you all gotta die. Cool? All right.
Oh my gosh.
That's what they did. Did they not? Did I misunderstand that? All right.
My last moment is from Breath of the Wild, and it is when you are taking the first steps off of the Great Plateau. I feel like this is where the game really began because you set off into the world, but it's really just the Great Plateau, and you're going from point to point, and every single time you get done a shrine and you think, okay, time to go explore, this old man, he comes paragliding down, he's like, oh, but wait, you need to go do this, this, and that first. And although it's cool to be exploring the Great Plateau, you really just want to, get started. You want to get started in this open world adventure that was promised to you. And just, I will never forget those first steps off of the Great Plateau when he finally gives you the paraglider and you step off and you think, okay, well, now where do I go? And I just remember the whole world felt so vast, and you really could choose to go anywhere for kind of the first time ever in a Zelda game. If you decided to go to the desert, you probably hated your life. And if you decided to take the suggested path and go to Kakariko, like I did, then it was a much better time. But you had the freedom to go anywhere, and it felt so powerful to be able to do that after lots of linear games.
yeah. All right, Breath of the Wild, great one to wrap up our memories. We are now on memories 28 through 36. As a reminder, we're doing this because this year is the 36th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. It kind of already passed, so it's 36 in a few months. But yeah, this is the audience portion. We are going to have, let's see, I'll go ahead and pick
We're going to each select a person, so if you have a memory, raise your hand nice and high. Whoop. And we'll each take turns picking somebody. You can go up to that microphone. Is that the microphone that they're going to go to?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're picked.
Once you're picked. And you can share a memory.
All right, I'll pick first. I will pick right here, green. Yes. Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yep, go up
please-
to the microphone and tell us
And-
your memory.
Yeah, and when you go up, please let us know your name, the memory, and just try to be mindful that we want to get through at least 9 so we can get 36. And you could probably put your hands down for now until, yeah, please.
So one of my favorite memories was from Ocarina of Time, which was my second Zelda game, when Link takes the Master Sword and then is frozen in time, and in that time, like Hyrule just goes to the purge because Ganondorf took over. He got into the sacred realm, and then all of a sudden, you're 7 years in the future, you're grown up, and then Link arrives, seeing everything has changed, everything's just gone terribly. It's such a mind-blowing thing to see that happen. Like, the town is destroyed. It's once a bustling town is now destroyed, just sprawling with redeads, and Ganondorf's influence has gone all around. Ingo has the ranch. He's threatening to kill the Gorons. And the Zora's Lake is frozen. It's just a wild feeling. It's like at the darkest hour. And it's up to you. It's up to you. Do it. It's really hard hitting.
Good memory, man.
Good memory.
And I have to say that, like, I love Ocarina of Time, but where are the guards? Where someone watching the door? Like, what's...
That's a good one, yeah.
All right. My man in the back, middle row, green cap. Yeah, you. Yeah, I saw you.
Sorry, I don't mean to bombard this with more Ocarina of Time moments, but
That's okay.
I picked you, bro, and you come with that?
I think it's a very underrated moment. After you become an adult and you go through Forest Temple, first you go through the Lost Woods, you see how things are terrible there. You go through the Forest Temple, try and find Saria, and she's nowhere to be found. And then you beat the dungeon, and you see her, and she tells you like, don't worry about me. Like, you need to continue this mission. And then it caps off with, after you get that, whatever the medallion's for, it says, Saria will always be your friend. And it's such an underrated moment because she is the first character in that game outside of Navi who is like on your side. Everybody else kind of hates you.
And she keeps being your friend even after, you've grown up and everybody kind of, forgets who you are. You're kind of an outcast and she's always your friend.
And you're not entirely sure if she's alive in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, good moment.
I'm going to pick, I see that he just had 2 hands up, the boy right there, who's waving his hand. Yep, you.
All right, I'll break up the Ocarina of Time monotony on this. Majora's Mask, when Kaiti and Andrew finally come together on the 3rd night and they'll watch the sunrise together, and that's not going to happen. Also, one note about something you mentioned about where Breath of the Wild is on the timeline. I believe Nintendo has said it's at the end of all the lines. So I guess they come back together tens of thousands of years later or something.
Oh, there we go.
That's what I've heard.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. I see 2 Master Swords in the air. Very cool. Let's do the one over there on the right. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jamie, and I really love Skyward Sword. Deal with it. My favorite moment is I'm Still Your Zelda, that cutscene where she's like going into the Amber, and like she's the goddess Hylia, and like it feels like everything's different, but she's just like reassuring you that like not everything is, And I just think that's a really impactful moment for like the lore of the whole series, and also just like the relationship between Link and Zelda. It's just so sweet, and I love it.
Absolutely.
I love the relationship between them in that
All right, I'm gonna go with the first half of the crowd. Everyone's been in the back, so okay, Shy Guy. All right, you got me.
We might be dating ourselves a bit because we played Zelda when it came out.
Woo!
But the very first scene, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Yeah.
It just sets the entire everything for the entire series. It's you get guidance from your elders. You have no idea who or where you are. You need weapons to figure out anything. So just kind of,
Where
but
it all
most importantly
started.
for us, when we got married, that's what we said to each other when we gave each other rings.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna go with the little boy right in with the two hands up right there.
I like the beginning.
You got it, man.
What's your name?
Do you have a favorite Zelda game that you like the beginning of?
Breath of the Wild.
Yes, that's what you said before. Right, with the tower in the beginning, and then something happened.
I just want to say that I grew up playing The Legend of Zelda with my dad, and it just brought so many, it kept so many memories for me that I was able to play with him, and I think that's what really instilled my love of the series because I started so young and played along with him, and so I love to see kids playing Zelda these days.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Okay. Okay, the one that's being pointed to. Yeah.
Is this one on? Okay.
Yes.
Hello. So my favorite moment, I have to say, is when you get to the end of Majora's Mask and you've gotten up to the clock tower and you're going into that kind of sacred realm where everything's white and all the kids are playing and running around. And just like Majora's Mask is by himself, sitting underneath the tree, and it just really put into like perspective that these are kids, and like Skull Kid is a kid, and like he's lonely, he's lost all of his friends, and it's just this very poignant moment for me where you're trying to help him get that back and like free him from this thing that has taken him over, and just felt really good at the end of the game when you get to see him have that moment again.
Love that one. That one almost made my own list because just going into the moon for the first time and seeing not what you would expect the inside of the moon to look like. Apparently it has grass and a tree. Yeah. Is it me?
Oh, that's me. All right, whoever's been holding that poster up, you got it.
I'd have to say my favorite moment is when you pull the Master Sword from the stone in Breath of the Wild. Grinding to get all the hearts and then going back there once you're strong enough. It was just a really big moment for me.
This is going to be the last moment, number 36. I am going to pick, this is a lot of pressure for the very last one. So the person who is waving the hat around, is that the Link hat? Yes, good choice.
My favorite moment was from Breath of the Wild. Watch out for the flowers side shrine quest.
That was another very terrifying moment because I was not expecting that to happen.
Yeah, you're exploring like this pretty shrine, and there's just this lady. You hit on the flowers too much, and she starts screaming at you. Like the moment where it's slowly zooming in, and she starts chasing you.
It's
They're
good
very
stuff.
important flowers. All right, thank you. Round of applause.
All right, so that wraps up our official 36 memories. We do have some extra time, so we will have a few.
Line up to the mics, line up to the mics, line up to the mics.
Yeah.
We will go through as many as we possibly can until the enforcers kick us out. Please keep it snappy so we can get as many as we humanly can. We're gonna start on the mic on this side. Once that person's done, we're gonna alternate.
Yeah,
so say your name, say your moment, and let's keep it moving.
Yeah, rapid fire. Let's do it quick.
Yeah.
All right.
The gentleman, whoever's on first over here on the mic on our right-hand side.
Okay, runner-up, catching horses in Breath of the Wild, but actual favorite moment is the trading game in Oracle of Ages, when the guy's in the outhouse, and he's like, I need paper. And then you give him paper, what does he give you back? He gives you a bag of poop.
I love it.
Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit unconventional here, because this moment happens in multiple Zelda games, but the first time you make the mistake of attacking a Coco, and they all come at you from all different directions, and then they follow you in Super Smash Brothers, and you get attacked in all different directions by them. I still get nightmares from that.
That's my cuckoo, always a good
I
one.
love telling new Zelda players that they can get a piece of heart by doing that, and then they all attack them.
Hello, let's see. Twilight Princess, the bosses, a lot of bosses in games usually goes with Ganondorf to Ganon, but then it's a reverse for Twilight Princess. So my personal favorite happened to be when you actually face Dark Lord Ganondorf. You don't have Zelda or Midna to help you. You're just on your own, and it's just an old-fashioned sword fight. You can exploit it, but the music, just a cinematic fight, that's memorable for me.
Good moment.
I gotta say, Breath of the Wild, when you realize you can ride animals other than the horse.
I picked the bear to ride whenever I could. I wanted to register it.
That's a good one.
My moment is Ocarina of Time. The first time you played the song Boreal of Fire. For some reason, that song just resonates with me, and it's one of my favorite songs to play.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that the most impactful part of Zelda was the end of Wind Waker, like right after defeating Ganondorf, when the Hyrule is about to drown. Link and Zelda are reminiscing back to the surface of the ocean, but the King of Red Lion stays. And the part where Link holds out his hand alongside the King of Red Lion, where he wants to go with him, but he chooses to put his hand down to drown alongside of Hyrule because he knows that Link and Zelda is the new future of Hyrule. So that really stuck with me the most.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm a 2000s baby, and when Wind Waker was my first game, I was 2 years old when I played it with my dad, and of course I couldn't read, so he was helping me. But I remember the moment with the grandmother, and you heal your grandmother, and then she gives this like tearjerker speech, and you just see like this is like the first character that really takes care of Link, and it's just so beautiful.
It was really the first time that he had a family, pretty much.
Yeah,
it was so
100%.
good.
It's so beautiful.
Because he wasn't actually a descendant, he was just a regular kid.
He was just a regular kid. Thank you.
So for me, it was actually any mask in Majora's Mask. I mean, like the big ones that transformed you, because I don't know if anyone had the same reaction as me, but when you put on that mask, you took over that person's life, and everyone recognized you as that person. And when you left to do the next quest, that person was dead. So like me as a small child was like, no, trying to go back to those places to be like, no, they're still alive, I'm here, please. And like playing the band with the Zoras and everything, like they're gone now, and I couldn't in my head like rationalize that. It was a big
It's really dark if you think about it. Thank you for sharing
thank
that.
I really like building Terrytown in Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole game takes place in the ruins of the calamity. It's nice to build some homes for some ordinary people. I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, since Majora's Mask and Breath of the Wild were mentioned a lot, I wanted to pick a moment from Twilight Princess, and that moment is when Midna is injured by Zant, and you have to bring her back to Hyrule Castle, and when Midna's Lament starts playing. It's just, up until then, like, Midna is just kind of like this, like, snarky, like, sassy character who just only cares about herself. She only wants you to do what she wants. And then, like, and then the one moment when Zant gets the upper hand and he, like, you know, almost kills her, you really start to realize that Midna is, like, someone you care about and someone you've been with for, you know, probably, like, about 10 hours or more, considering how long the opening is. And I don't know, that, and when Midna's Lament started playing, it just really hit home how much this character meant to me. And now she's one of my favorite characters in all of gaming.
All
Right. There's really a sense of urgency to that quest. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Dark Beast Ganon, not Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild. I'm sorry. The music made the whole fight so memorable for me because it reminded me of the E3 presentation trailer from way back when. I was hooked on this game from then, and it was a perfect finale for me. I don't care if anybody says anything else about the boss fight. I love it. Can't change that for me.
Thank you. That's a
Thank
good one.
you.
I love that.
Honestly, my favorite moment was honestly beating the water temple.
The water temple.
It's a rite of passage.
That temple took me like months because I like played Ocarina when I was like 9 years old, so that took me so long. And then afterwards is my favorite dungeons, the Shadow and Spirit Temple. So yeah.
But you did it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think we'll have time for three more.
Three more.
One of my favorite moments is in Breath of the Wild, the final trial as part of the Champion's Ballad DLC. And as you finish each piece of the temple, it unlocks more music. There's a huge like air of finality to it. The game is really sending you off on like the grand goodbye, and you can really feel in the music and the environment. It's just really tear-jerking. Yeah, it's really incredible.
They did a great job with the DLC.
Thank you.
So my moment isn't an exact moment, but it's a holy F moment that a lot of us ever felt during Twilight Princess as Wolflink talking to some of the random spirits.
Yes.
Where they'll say something horribly depressing about like what they've lost and felt. That was very emotional connection.
I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, this will be the last one.
My favorite part of Breath of the Wild is when you finally beat the game and Zelda just pulls out a big ball of light from her hand.
That is a good one to end on.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us. If you want to chat with us, we'll be outside. And have a great rest of your PAX.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
coming
joining
and
us,
listening.
everyone.